Hello, welcome back. It's me, Lou, and just like usual, we're here today as I'm just gonna relax and try to freshen up and do a little bit of drawing exercises. As I've stated in the past, this is one of those things I've kind of developed for myself as a way to relax and to kind of give myself a short little distraction from what's going on in the rest of the world around me. In terms of like, I think just being healthy mentally, it's nice to, um, devote a little bit of time where you can. It's okay to be selfish and just get away from what's going on. Especially for like me, I find myself this so caught up with everything that's going on with work and personal life and responsibilities that it's really hard sometimes just to like you know be in the here and now because you're so caught up with what's going to happen next and what's in front of you. And by the time all said and done, the day flies by so fast and you can't catch your breath and you're just burned out. And I'm trying to develop more positive ways of rejuvenating myself. And for me, this being able to sit down and sketch a little and draw a little and ease my thoughts into other things has been so helpful for me. So what we're going to draw today, or at least what I'm going to draw today, and you're just going to watch, is there's this character here. His name is Skeletor. He's from the Masters of the Universe toy line. This is a character I've been wanting to draw for a while just because he's such a unique and interesting dude. For number one, his head and his face. The guy just looks like a mad, crazy skeleton guy. His garb is just fantastic. Also, he's with the muscles and the armor, he's very much a barbarian kind of look, which is very reflective of the toy line he comes from, the Masters of the Universe. And the most popular and familiar character most people would recognize would be He-Man. And this is He-Man's eternal arch rival and nemesis, the evil, maniacal, and always conspiring Skeletor. So yeah, we're going to draw this guy. And before we do, let's kind of examine his unique features and stuff that makes him interesting and, I don't know, why he'll be fun to draw. So as I mentioned before, first off, let's look at his head. Now this guy's cool because he has kind of like the semblance of a skull for a face, and I don't really know how that works because his face looks like a skull, but then he clearly looks like he has muscles and flesh to keep it attached to the rest of his body. I don't know his full background story in terms of the character's lore. Did he always look like this? I think the answer is no. I think maybe at one time he maybe looked closer to like normal people. He has this blue skin, these crazy red eyes. He has no nose, just a crazy skeleton skull kind of thing. And in his armor, he has this shoulder and chest plate. He has this wild belt with, I don't know, maybe like a leather loincloth deal. And it looks like he has kind of like webbed feet. Look at that. He has 3 toes and webbed feet. Muscles. So yeah, we're gonna draw this guy. I think I'm just gonna draw this guy head on. I want to get at least from the chest up and maybe just some of the shoulders out. Just a complete direct head on shot of him. So yeah, let's do that. Okay. Yeah, so as I was stating earlier when we started this video, I think for me today I just lost so much time. I had so many things going on, and I'm like, I needed like this chill and relax. First of all, today's Monday. I hate Mondays. I can't stand Mondays. Mondays are like the worst for me. It's like I'm trying to recover. Not to have a crazy weekend or anything like that, but weekends are nice because I get to kind of just. I still have stuff going on in the weekends too, but it's a little bit slower than the normal weekday. And as soon as I find my groove, it's already, Sunday night, and then I have to be back doing work and grown-up stuff come Monday morning, and I'm not always down for that. I just want to chill. So with the Skeletor dude, let's, I don't know, I'm gonna make him, I'm just gonna really exaggerate his features. The guy is, let's give him a big thick neck, and let's give him this really tall big shoulders. I'm already kind of seeing here that this drawing isn't perfectly symmetrical. I think it's a little off balance, but it doesn't need to be perfectly symmetrical right now. I just want to just get all the big shapes in. Alright, so I think this chest is going to end about here. Like my previous drawings, I'm going to make sure this one's a little bit cleaner than... With every drawing I do, unless it's intentional, I want to make sure that the quality of it's a little higher than the last one. Yeah, so this guy has a really buffed out chest. I'm not sure how much of it I want to draw, but at least for now, I just want to get the muscles in and just kind of give me an idea of where this is going to go. Alright, so his head's looking kind of small. He has like a peanut-sized head right now. And I don't know, in all honesty, looking at this, I'm almost tempted just to make this the Hulk, because right now it kind of has the Hulk's proportions, or at least how I always draw the Hulk. But we'll keep this as Skeletor. Alright, let's figure out where I'm going to place his nose and his mouth. I like the fact that Skeletor looks like his face is a skull. There's something really cool about that, because I think when you have a situation like that, he loses, and you think about what kind of attributes you have in a human face. You know, you have like eyebrows, you have pupils, but when you're just a skull, there's no eyeballs. You know, there's no eyebrows, and so much of a person's emotions and expressions are conveyed to like how, you know, the angles of their brows are, how the angle of their eyebrows, you know, whether their pupils are like dilated or pulled in. And being a skeleton, or at least having a skull for a face, you don't have any of that. So this guy's not going to have those kind of facial luxuries to like give away what he's telling, if that makes any sense. I might be just probably talking out of my ass right now. Okay, so here we go. Just trying to get everything in as fast as I could right now. I always have the specter of time looming over me. I'm always afraid that at any given moment something's gonna pop up and I'll have to take off. But yeah, okay, so how do I want the rest? Do I want his mouth open? At this point, I'm have to say yes. I kind of wish I planned out his mouth a little bit better, because I think I'm painting myself into a corner right now because I didn't really lay it out all the way. Okay, I want to give him for a jaw. Alright, it's chin. There's his jaw. And Skeletor here has like a hood. I might take the hood and actually extend it further down, because here it ends at his chin. But I think it'd be kind of cool if I draped it a little bit longer, or I don't know. I'm not sure if I should keep it more true to the figure's design. Yeah, we'll see. Well, let's see where this goes. Yeah, and pull his hood down just a little bit further than what the toy has, and pull it out also just a little bit more. Okay, have that done, and let's figure out his breastplate here, and let's get some of the big features in here. Now, looking at it, it has like almost looks like what would be a jewel right here, and then there's like a crossed bones kind of deal. It almost looks like the semblance of something that looks like bat wings. So I'll just start in the center and just begin with that jewel. And there's going to be these bones. I'm kind of curious though, if this was a real costume. Now, would these actually be real bones, or would they just be like, carvings and sculptings to resemble bones? Now, if this is an evil, nefarious character, I'm guessing it's probably the bones of his defeated enemies, or something wild like that. So the Master of the Universe toy line, I grew up on it because I was a child of the 80s, and He-Man and the Master of the Universe came out, I think, around 82 or 83 or something along those lines. And I kind of remember getting my first He-Man action figure. I was probably in kindergarten. And I remember there was also the cartoon, which I think was on after school every day, like maybe at 3 o'clock. And He-Man was cool because it was like a blend of fantasy and science fiction with the character designs. And in the early 80s, stuff like G.I. Joe was really big, and that was the designs of that was based a little bit more on like realistic army and military kind of stuff. And another hot toy property was Star Wars, and I was heavily into that as a child. And that was like science fiction. I think in 82 or 83, the movie Conan the Barbarian came out. And barbarian movies were just popular in general during that time period. You had stuff like Conan. One movie I'm really fond of, even to this day, is Beastmaster with Mark Singer and Tanya Roberts. That's a great movie. And there was even a live-action He-Man at one point, but I think by the time that came out, the toys' popularity kind of faded. So the movie came out on, at the end of the toys run, or close to the end of the toys run, I believe. I'm not a complete expert on that kind of stuff. So it looks like I might be running out a little bit of room up here to fit this bat design. So I'm just gonna take a few liberties and I don't know, just kind of just change it up just a little bit, just so I can fill it in. It's not going to be exact. I'm thinking for the inking process when I get to it, I want to see, not that I want to get through it super fast, but for some reason I just feel a little bit pressured for time, and I want to do a good job doing this, but at the same time I don't want to go like over an hour like I did with the Wolverine drawing. I mean, I love that drawing a lot. That one came out a lot better than I thought it would, but I had the time to do that one. This one's a little bit different. I kind of have like, I kind of want to finish this one sooner than later. But at the same time, I want to do a really good job and, you know, make your time here worthwhile. So, there's Skeletor so far. It's looking pretty cool. Skeletor is a badass. Alright, let's get his armor things in. Up here, these it's kind of like these leather, I don't know what leather strap kind of deals on his arm. Skeletor is just like, in my opinion, he's just like Wolverine. His costumes, it's so, I hate to use the word iconic because people use that word iconic a lot, but his costume design is just so perfect. The original costume, it's not overly done. It seems like everything that's there serves its purpose. It's not, he doesn't have any overkill bits, you know, or anything that's too gratuitous in his design. It's just really well thought out. It's like whoever designed him just gave him the right amount of bare minimum details to make the character just look so interesting. And then each one of these has like looks like a small rivet at the end of it. And we'll recreate that. Alright, so here's Skeletor. Oh wow, this is looking pretty cool. It's like I said before, I don't always know what I'm going to draw. I kind of have a very vague image in my head of what it might be, but I don't really see it until I start actually really just fleshing it out. So I'm going to come in here, and I'm thinking I might want to change things out and work backwards as opposed to how I've been working in the past. And I might just start with the contour lines first and then come in and add the detail. Yeah, let's try that. It'll make the drawing for me a little bit more interesting to do. And I'm trying to find a pen with the right amount of sharp tip on it. Okay, yeah, so let's do that. So let's start inking this guy. So I was at the art store today, well, because I had to run some errands, and I stopped by my local art store, and I was just combing around looking at some of the different things, thinking, oh wow, look at some of these markers and pens. And I kind of froze up because I was thinking maybe I want to try something new. But then I kind of remembered that I've always just been about making most of the tools that I got. And I don't want to get sucked into buying a set of, you know, pens or brushes or pencils that are a little bit more specialized, because I always enjoyed the fact, especially when I was younger, just working off whatever art supplies I could find, like at a local store, like a Target, or even if just like something they might have at Walgreens. Just because if I ever needed something, you know, the stuff I'd be getting, like, you know, a simple Sharpie marker, that's easy to get. If I got like an alcohol-based pen or something that was a little bit more high-end, you know, if I ran out of it at home, to be able to replenish that kind of stock would be a little bit more difficult and probably a little bit more expensive. So my attitude towards everything was this, if it leaves a mark, it's good enough. So I've been known to draw with this like simple ballpoint pens. I'm not very picky about my pencil lead. Even if it's just a plain number 2 pencil that I'd use at school, it's perfectly fine. And likewise with just inking, Sharpie works great for me. I've been coloring and inking with Sharpies for as long as I can remember. I can understand some artists' reasons for why they use certain tools. I mean, for one, I think there is some truth in the fact that the higher quality of the tool sometimes, the better work you produce. I think there is some truth to that. And I also know that some artists choose to work with certain inks or markers just because of the archival quality behind it. Like, I've never had this happen, but I know like if you use certain markers over the course of a few years, they'll lose their vibrancy and they won't be as bold, and the ink on the paper might look a bit faded, like, or grayed out. And I think you might get that with like some kitty markers and lower end brands. And if you're an artist and you want to really preserve your work, it is like, I guess it is important to be more mindful of what kind of tools you're using if you want to preserve your work. But if you're like me and you don't care, I don't know, it's not a big deal. Alright, Skeletor. I'm giving you your hood. Now I kind of want to give this some more graphic quality. And when I say graphic quality, it's something that looked along the lines of it, not necessarily being commercial, but if you looked at it, you'd be like, oh wow, that looks like it's more like about branding or advertising. So the graphic designer in me wants to give this contour line a heavier line weight. For me, it tightens all the details inside of Skeletor that we're going to add. But at the same time, I think when you add a border, it makes your work a little bit more professional. And the thicker the border and I add on this, I think the intent of what the drawing's supposed to be is going to be a little bit different. So I'm going to give this guy a really thick line weight for his contour border that surrounds him. I'm very envious of whoever had the job of designing Skeletor. I think if you're ever sort of professional where you get to handle stuff like character design, I think that's such a blessing because, you get to work on all these fantastic, wonderful things that really push your imagination. And you never know, maybe something you design or work on could even like withstand the test of time, such as this. I mean, this is a character that was unveiled in the early 80s, and here it is 2021, and the character is still relevant today. It's kind of wild. And if you're the mind behind it that designed it, it's there's some, I guess, some pride in that because you're designing a piece of pop culture that's gonna last for a while. I mean, this character has withstood, I think, maybe like three or four generations, which is That's just so cool. I mean, I grew up on this, and I have friends that have kids, and they're growing up on this, and or maybe not 4 generations, maybe maybe just 2 generations, but it's still a wild thing to think about. All right, let's speed this up a little. I don't want to devote too much time just on the contour line. That's filling these black areas as fast as I could. Hypothetically, I could have used a fatter marker doing this, but I don't think I'd get the sharp edges I would have got like I did with using the finer Sharpie marker. The paper I'm using too, this is nothing special. I was at a grocery store, and it was a larger grocery store. It's one of those grocery stores that has almost like it's like half department store, half grocery store. And I was just combing around through. They had a small little craft section where they sold like poster boards, drawing pens, and markers and stuff. And I was just looking for drawing paper. Now, normally I always lean more towards something that's a heavier weight of paper stock, almost like a little bit thinner than a poster board, a little bit more along the lines of like a Bristol board maybe. And I like a very I don't like a rough tooth. I like very smooth surface to work on. And as I was looking around through the art department, one of the employees came up to me and asked what I was looking for. I was like, "Oh, I'm just looking for a drawing pad or some drawing paper." And I said, I was fine. I didn't need help. And then she was trying to be really helpful, and she's like, "Oh, how about this?" And then she pulled out a drawing pad that was on sale, and it was a thick drawing pad, but the paper stock was not what I was looking for. But she was so happy that she thought she was being helpful to me that I felt I'd feel really guilty at the time if I didn't accept her offer and take it. So I'm like, oh yeah, that's perfectly, that fits perfect for what I want to work on. So then I took the pad of drawing paper from her, and I thanked her for it. And then as I was like walking away, I'm like, crap, this is this isn't the kind of drawing paper I like working with. It's a little bit thicker than like notebook paper, and it's a rougher surface, and if you erase on it, it starts rubbing away the surface of the paper. It's that kind of paper, and it made me nuts. But at the same time, the lady seemed really happy that she was able to help me out, and I didn't want to say no to her. So I was kind of left stuck working with this paper she gave me. In actuality, I've just kind of learned to accept it. It's not perfect, but I think it just adds a little bit more character to my work. It's not as refined as I'm used to, but it gets the job done, and that's all I can really ask. But yeah, I mean, ideally, I like working with a nice, thicker stock and smoother surface. Okay, Skeletor, let's kind of like get your face in place. Now, since Skull's a skull, I'm gonna make the edges a little bit harder and exaggerated. His neck is gonna be still gonna be really thick, and then let's get his eyes in. the Skeletor character, I mean, just fascinates me too because the dude looks like a full-on. His face is like a skull, you know, and everyone else around him, they kind of look, you know, they still have their fleshy bits about them, but no, not Skeletor. The guy's just it's a crazy skull. And it's like I said, I don't really know the lore behind why he looks like this. I wasn't sure, if, you know, maybe he was a man before and was cursed, or who knows. All right, he's looking pretty decent here. All right, I'm trying to find where his teeth are. Now with his teeth, I'm kind of avoiding wanting to come in here and just outlining every single tooth. So I'm just kind of giving you the impression of where the teeth are. I wonder if they have dentists where Skeletor is from. Speaking of dentists, it's making me nuts because I normally see a dentist twice a year for like a cleaning and a checkup. But since we're kind of in this pandemic, I haven't gone to the dentist at all. So, I mean, just to be safe, I know it's, you know, for some places it could be safe and all that, but I still want to risk it at the moment. Maybe after I get vaccinated or whatever, but I haven't gone to the dentist. This is like the longest in years I've gone without going to the dentist. And I don't have any cavities. I don't have the brightest smile, but I kind of have one of the more healthy ones. Like every time I go, the dentist is always surprised. He's like, you know, you don't have any cavities. And I'm like, good. So I don't have any cavities right now, but man, I don't know what happened. I think I might have injured the inside of my mouth the other day. All right. He's looking like Skeletor. Now, Skeletor here, his eyes, they're not complete empty pits that go into the void. It looks like it's red, but I don't know how I want to illustrate that here. If I just want to darken them in. Yeah, let's just darken them in. Okay. Right, so I'm going to darken the inside of his hood. I'm kind of reminded just now, just talking about dentists. So, like, maybe this was, I want to say, maybe 9 years ago, or, yeah, maybe about 9 years ago. I had an issue where there was something wrong with my jaw. I think I had, there's like something called like an abscess or something. So what it was, I had this abscess in my jaw, and it was deteriorating my jawbone to the point where the doctor said that my jawbone, I had this pain in my mouth. I didn't know what it was. I went to go see the doctor. And then he said that they took an x-ray and they found that my jawbone kind of like, on one side, it was disintegrating to the point where it was thin as like a piece of paper. And they said eventually it'd grow back, but they had to like perform surgery or something and go in there and remove my like wisdom teeth and my um this abscess or whatever it was. And as a result, I kind of lost feeling in my like lower lip and that part of my jaw. So even up to this day, my lip always is kind of has this tingle in it because there's technically no feeling in there, which is wild. But I kind of remembered though that at this doctor's office, he had a very attractive assistant at the front desk. So every time I went there, I'm like, I can't remember her name. I think it was like Nicolette or something. And man, wow, she was like beautiful. I felt so bad when when I got better and I didn't have any reason to go to that doctor's office anymore. You know, wherever she is, you know, God bless her. She was gorgeous. All right, now I can't think. Now I'm just thinking about this woman. I don't know. I always joke around like during my work calls because right, so we're not at the office anymore. So we have weekly staff meetings where we meet over like I don't know what is Zoom or whatever it is. And then every once in a while, I'll mention how like you know with the way the world is right now, I've very limited contact with like women, new women at least nowadays. And I was joking around saying that when the world comes back to normal, you know, my social behavior and might be a little bit different because I've been away from like girls for so long that I might be acting kind of. I mean, not I already acted kind of weird around girls to begin with. Not like I'm shy or like introverted or anything like that, but I don't know. You ask any of the girls in my life, man, they'll have stories for you. But yeah, so I don't. Wait, why am I talking about this? All right, let's get back to Skeletor. I bet Skeletor is a ladies' man. He probably hooks up with all sorts of cool girls, especially goth girls. You know, he probably hooks up with those kind of girls that like work at like Hot Topic. I actually buy my clothes, at least before the world went to hell. I used to like shop at Hot Topic. I buy my Funko. I was into Funko Pops for a while. Those plastic figurine kind of dudes with the big heads. And then Hot Topic always had like exclusive figures and stuff, so I'd always go there to buy them. And then I'd occasionally buy T-shirts at Hot Topic also. And I remember our Hot Topic always had some really cute girls. And the thing is, I look a lot younger than what I am, and every now and then in my head, I'd always be like, oh, you know, what if I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I miss going to the mall where my Hot Topic was. I went to the mall a couple of times, but it wasn't the same in this pandemic kind of thing. For some reason, all the inventories and the stores I go to, it's a little bit less than what it was before. I'm not sure if that's just because the way things are right now. It might be the case. Yeah, but I can't wait to shop old school like how things were back in the day. Alright, Skeletor. I'm really itching to get all this kind of like armor nuance kind of stuff done and out of the way just so I could like start getting in there and rendering out all the details and adding the shadows and the muscles. And getting to the meat and potatoes, the stuff I really like to do. Okay, how are we doing on time? Time. Okay, I really should be making more of an effort to go faster. So we'll do that now. One thing I'm kind of considering for one video is that I might do a couple videos where they're more than just one part. I'd like to be able to spend more time on a drawing, and 1 hour drawing sometimes. Like the Wolverine one was cool, but that's like a 1 hour commitment. I'm not all about it, YouTube analytics and like, oh, some people clock out after like, 20 minutes or 10 minutes on a video. But I think it'd be kind of cool if I devoted one part to this. Here's me penciling a drawing, and then part 2 is me inking it, and part 3 is coloring it. I love working in black and white, but it'd be kind of cool if I did something in color, I think. Dude, I can't stop thinking about that one girl now, the one that worked at that doctor's office. I think her name was Nicolette, yeah. Wow, dude, it's like if you saw her, she's so beautiful. Nicolette, if you're out there. Wow, this is looking a lot better than I thought. I haven't really, as I'm drawing this, I'm not really giving myself time to actually step away and just look at it as a whole composition. I'm always just focusing on what I'm drawing or inking at the time. So every now and then, I'll just pull back and look at it and kind of be surprised because this isn't how I thought the figure would look, and I'm very happy with that. It's looking better than I thought it would look. I just hope I do the right thing in terms of once I start trying to figure out the shadows and details like that. Alright, Skeletor. It's time to go to the disco. Alright, there we go. Alright, I got all the details fleshed out. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to come in and erase all my pencil work because I want to get in here and start adding all the fun bits that I like to do. I want to get in there with some shadows, a little bit of shading, roughing up the textures. I kind of want to develop the texture around all his armor bits. And I'm giving myself a time limit on this too. I don't want to go beyond 20 minutes on this. I want to finish this up soon. This is my little escape for today. I need to be back into the real world at a certain point, unfortunately. Now this is me. I have like all these erasers around me, but each one of them none of them is soft enough for what I want to do. This one's too hard. This one's perfect for racing, but it's like crumbling apart. This one's soft. This one, I like this one. We'll go with this one. That's one thing I do like about working digitally is that you don't have to deal with this kind of BS of erasing all this crap and getting all these pencil shavings everywhere. Or paper shavings or whatever it's called. Skeletor, you are a pain in the ass to erase. All right, that's the best I'm gonna do for now. Okay, I'm gonna clean up some of these lines a little. All right. Just want to sharpen up some of these edges. Okay. Lighting. All right, let's light Skeletor from. Let's do something different. Now, I said in the past that like more nefarious and evil characters, you always light them from underneath. I'm gonna light Skeletor from the upper corners. So we'll do that. Right, so those are gonna be that. Let's fill these in real fast. All right, Lou, let's work a little bit faster. Come on, don't dawdle. Damn it, 47 minutes in. This morning I'm like, you know what? If I draw Skeletor, I think I could do him in, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes, and here we are. We're at almost the 50-minute mark. And I guess, I don't know, work faster. Skeletor, come on, dude. Ink faster. I need to get going soon. Ah, shoot. Okay. So the old He-Man comics from the '80s, they used to. I think they're doing this now. They used to come with these little comic books, and as a kid, I remember looking at them, and the artwork really stood out to me. I never really researched who did the artwork on the comic books, but the artwork was just so neat. Um, it wasn't as refined as the artwork that would later come in like in the '90s and stuff. Like if you ever read any of the older Conan comics from the '80s and '70s, the artwork kind of just reminded me of that. Now I'm kind of stoked on this drawing, but at the same time, I think with the time limitations I put on myself, I'm not getting the kind of line work I wanted to put into this. I wanted to go a little bit finer, but for what it is right now, I'm happy with it. It just I kind of wanted to go a little bit in a different direction with this, but it's not bad. It's just not what it's not coming out right, but. Okay, so this is where we're at right now. So I'm gonna come in and just kind of develop some of these lines and shadows. One of the reasons why I chose Skeletor also is because some of my friends are actually big He-Man fans, and they're big into like Masters of the Universe. So this is kind of a shout out to my friends who, if you're watching and you're into the He-Man stuff, and you are because we talk about it, this is a shout out to you guys. It's my way of letting you know, hey, I'm thinking of you guys. Look, I'm drawing this little He-Man guy for you guys. So. And if you're not the He-Man, well, you're just, I don't know, guess you're not cool. Too cool for He-Man and his buddy Skeletor. Alright, since I know, erase these. I don't know what I'm doing right now. I think I kind of want to darken this a little just to create some separation between his skull head. Alright. Time is ticking away. Dang, I really thought I'd be able to finish this faster than where I'm at right now. This is taking a little bit longer. No, I don't want to do this. Why am I doing this? Okay, now I'm making more work for myself. God, why am I doing all this cross hatching? It's gonna take forever. Alright, move faster. As much as I love the inking stage of a drawing, I think it loses something once you start. I don't know, when the initial layout and the pencils, there's a very different energy in the drawing. And then once you start adding the inks and, I don't know, developing it more and refining it, it kind of changes the character of the drawing a little bit. Much like it's doing here, but I just gotta live with it. Gotta live with it. I don't want this rendered out. I don't know what I'm doing right now. I think I'm messing up or something. Damn it, I should have just stopped. I think I'm doing things here that I shouldn't be doing. Stop it. Messing this up. Alright, if I had 3 hours to do this drawing, it'd be perfect to the way I want it. Right now, this is like 75. I'm happy with the composition. I like the pose. I like the facial expression. But in terms of where I'm at in terms of this rendering and the line work, if I wanted this to be produced the way I kind of see it in my head, or how I wanted to see it in my head, I think I would need at least 3 full hours on this. But I don't got that kind of time to spare, unfortunately. So Skeletor, you're just gonna have to live with this, baby. Oh, dude, I messed up. Motherfucker. Okay. Alright. No one's gonna know I messed up. Dude, I messed up. Yeah. I messed up somewhere. I'm not gonna point out where I messed up because I don't want you to see it. Don't look at me, I'm horrid. Okay. Alright, Skeletor, you handsome devil, you. I don't know if Skeletor has nipples. The toy clearly doesn't have nipples, but I'm not sure if the dude with a skull for his face is gonna have nipples or not. So. Alright, I gotta wrap this up in a couple minutes, so let's add some final details here. Skeletor, I'm not completely happy with you, but it's close enough. Close enough, dude. We'll get you next time. Came about 80% of what I wanted to do on you, but our fun's gonna have to be over soon, dude. Don't worry, Skeletor. We'll hang out some other time. You're my boy. Alright, damn it. Skeletor, you took longer than Wolverine. In all honesty, I think I'd go further with this, but this drawings take me a lot longer than I kind of wanted to. Alright, as much as I'd like to continue this, I think this is going to have to be a wrap. Yep. So this is my Skeletor, and let's sum this up again. So this is the dude we drew. This is Skeletor. He's a child of the 80s. He was probably born in the 60s. So, I don't know, that'd make him 20 in the 80s or something. So, I don't know what I'm talking about. So, yes, this is this dude, and we created this dude. He's looking marvelous. If I would have done anything different, I would have liked to develop more texture in the skull. But it works for me. Skeletor, yeah. You're pretty badass, Skeletor. I like that look. Well, my name is Lou. And today is March 1st, 21. Thanks for dropping by. I'm sorry if I made you crazy because I have that effect on people. But yeah, thanks for stopping by and watching me draw and listening to me to ramble. Love you all. Stay safe. Peace out.